So, most coaches think that they need a lead magnet funnel and start building multiple lead magnets without understanding the actual pain points or knowing their customers like the back of their hand and begin creating lead magnets that just doesn't convert. And in fact, even in 2025, when people still think that they need to add more lead magnets, and then once they create them, they can literally spend more on ads and then get them converted, we created a lead magnet, which is a quiz for a seven-figure business owner. And that's exactly what you're seeing on screen right now. And I'm going to show you exactly the different components of this quiz that is going to double the conversions for this client without adding more to her ad spend. And in fact, because this is a brand new offer and we are creating a quiz for this client does not have to spend a dime on ads yet. So before we begin, let me show you the different things that we always do. First of all, we begin with the strategy, then we plan the quiz, which is the quiz title and the questions, and then we go ahead with the actual quiz build out, and then we set up the workflows and automations, and then we optimize and tweak it depending on when we begin certain things. So first of all, I want to begin this with the actual quiz strategy that we always do for most of our client funnel builds. Now, with the quiz, we typically begin with 5 to 10 different questions. And I would say, depending on the how high the pricing of the program looks, that's exactly when we decide the number of questions. So once we decide the number of questions, that's when we begin creating a few different titles and a few different questions that would actually target a few different sections. So we want to obviously know with this quiz, understand the type of audience personas that your clients have. And so what we generally do is try to categorize people in the back end to understand who has the money and the time, right? So, which means we can put them into a high ticket coaching program, which is spread out over like 3 to 4 months or 3 to 6 months. Or we find people who probably don't have the money, they're just tire kickers. We then send them to a freebie like a webinar. And then people who, have different categories like, they don't have the money, but they have the time, like they can consume all of your free resources. They can probably do a low ticket option, right? Just something like $7 to $27. So they still get the grasp and gist of who you are, what you do. So when they actually find the money, they can always come back to your high ticket coaching program. But ultimately, this quest is going to help you understand who your audiences are, nurture them so you don't waste time with the tire kickers, and at the same time, convert these audiences step by step and categorize them with tags and segmentation in the backend. And specifically, we do 90% of this quiz build out inside of Go High Level or the white labels of Go High Level, just like you will see right now, because this we believe has been proven to be one of the most comfortable backends that we have for most of our clients, right? So we are able to create beautiful branch logics, and that's exactly what we do, why we do. So this is typically how we plan the strategy. We understand the different pricing that you have inside your business, and then we create the number of questions to understand. One component would be if they have the time, if they have the money, right? What is their exact level in their business, or if they're just newbies, are they in a 9 to 5? So what are they earning? And then understanding the pain points, which is what will help us segment your quizzes. And for this particular quiz, the client already had a really good idea of what she wanted to do. She has already helped her clients make $140 million in sales, and she's been featured on Harvard State, CBS, Fox. And so it was really simple to work with my client Shadi, and she gave me all of the necessary quiz questions that will actually resonate with her clients. And that's exactly what we are looking at in this particular a funnel and in the video. So next thing, like I mentioned, because we have planned this quiz, which is I gave her the option to understand what kind of a quiz title that she can plan. And a quiz title should not just be like take your free quiz, right? That's not what we're looking at. Instead, we want a title that will actually tell people what you're going to help them with. And in this case, we told them take this 60-second quiz to identify which version of OS your business is currently running. Because what she does is not just a course or a coaching program. She creates a lab, she tailors it to where their business is at, so she can help actual people who are making money in the business scale. And that's exactly why we need to talk to founders and visionaries and leaders, and not just people who are, fumbling from their 9 to 5 to a transition. So her audiences were completely different. So we had to position the language to make sure that it's intriguing to those audiences. So all they had to do was just understand which version of OS their business was running and what is the exact issue that they have that they need help with, which is something we actually created here. So this is the actual quiz page that people will be taken to. Feel free to, click on the link. I will also add the link in the description so you can go ahead and check how a quiz would be. So in case you decide to build one, you can see how it would look inside a Go High level. Um, so we created 10 different questions. And so as you see here, there are so many questions with so many different options. So once they take all of these 10 questions, then we collect their email address. And this is exactly when we build the funnel once you as a client approves. And as soon as she approved inside our client portal that we use, I will not open my client portal right now just for privacy reasons to share on the video, but we have a client portal, and then we go back and forth, and then once she approves everything, we begin the build out. Now this, like I mentioned, is built out inside of Go High level, and you see we use the exact brand colors, the brand fonts, and just making sure it all looks nice and neat. And once the build is complete, which is inside the site pages, just to show you how things look in the back end. So once the information loads and once we do things here, yeah. So it's just going to be inside of the quiz and audit funnel. So the way we planned this out is because she wanted to do this quiz, and she also has a $47 audit that anybody who takes will benefit. And then she has a high ticket, she has a mid ticket program with two pricing, and then she has a high ticket program. So this is pretty much like an SLO, which is a self liquidating offer funnel. So if she decides to run ads in the future, this is just going to stand out and make her so much money in the back end. So once they take this quiz and then they submit this information, they will be taken to another sales page. It's a $47 offer, which is something everybody can take because they are trying to understand. Um, it's a 7-minute diagnostic test that tells people why they're exhausted, what they need to do, and they walk away with an identity audit or an identity advantage. Right? So that's the kind of thing. But we then built out the funnel, and after that is where we go into all about the workflows and automations. This is the big part of any quiz funnel that we built, because we have some amazing calculations inside of this. And if I take you inside the workflows for this client, and as you see here, so we did what's called the what do you say, the survey thing. And as you can see here, it's such a big, let me just zoom it out so you can see how big it looks. So if you have more number of questions, then it's just going to keep going. And one thing here is that we start with the quiz form submission as one of the triggers. And once they do that, we start adding specific numbers. So we try to understand all A's goes to one particular thing, all B's goes to a different offer, all C's different offer, all D's different offer, or whatever. If they combine, probably maximum number of A's would be taken to something, maximum number of C's would be taken to a different offer. So that's exactly how we do things with a lot of permutation and combination in mathematics language. So we do all of these calculations as you see here. And then what we do is, as soon as people submit, we then add certain tags to understand the different kinds of persona that she has in her business. And this is completely tailored to the different personas. So we tag them, and then we also create an opportunity, and then we actually create a pipeline to put people in there. So you actually know visibly how many people took the quiz, what tags do they fall under, or what audience persona do they fall under, without having to come to this complicated page. I'll show you that in a minute. But as soon as they are done, we start sending them a bunch of emails, and then all of those emails are tailored here. And as you see here, there are so many people who are already taking this. We're already testing this out. So it's all, so there'll be one email a day which will be sent out to her clients. Now, not just that, what we set up is called a pipeline here. So we created one specific pipeline for this client, and because it's an SLO, anybody who completes the quiz, anybody who purchases the audit from her, and then anybody goes to the mid ticket, and once they all complete the purchase, will all be tagged in here. So as you see, we have all already tested this out because we're still in the test mode waiting for the client to test. We send walkthrough videos and make sure that the client is understanding everything, just like the ones that you see here right now. So we do the walkthrough videos, and as you can see here, one of my teammates actually took this test, and you can see that he's in the QHOS performance mode, one of the tags that you saw on the back end. So we have tagged him, and then I tested it from two different sources. So one is a survival success kind of a tag, and then the other one is an emerging regulator kind of a tag. And so you can see anybody who completes the quiz will be added the tag completed quiz, as you can see here. And it also, this is the pipeline which says quiz completed, and then it tags them with the actual, quiz name tag. And then if they purchase the actual audit, their information will be stored here and the value will be here. So in the future, you can actually say how many people purchased it, right? How many people purchased this, if this is even working well. And then, if you want to change or tweak something in your audit, you can always do that in the future. And then we are taking these people to the actual mid ticket or the high ticket program. And then, we send all of those here. So essentially, our client has to literally see this pipeline to see how many people are taking the quiz and then transitioning to a different product and then transitioning to a different product. So which means things work out really, really well. And for visionaries, especially, the pipelines create so much more value, and which is exactly what we have done in this quiz funnel as well. Now, the reason why this quiz funnel is going to work really, really well for my clients specifically is because we have clear tags and categories of who needs to do what and how, and her backend persona is very well written. So she knows exactly, right? The email sequences that we put together actually tells them if they are this tag, what does it mean? That's the first email they receive. What does it mean? What do they need help with? So there are crystal clear routes for people to take, and you can use these tags in the future to actually start sending them customized email sequences and then convert them. So if somebody doesn't have the time and money, you don't have to waste time sending them emails about your high ticket program and then get frustrated because these audiences are not converting, because it absolutely makes no sense. So that's exactly why we created this quiz funnel. We have done these quiz funnels for a few different clients, and you're going to see all of these videos in this playlist. So feel free to click through them, and you can see how each quiz follows the exact same pattern, but at the same time, it focuses on a different pain point that each client has. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to DM me or comment below this video, and I'll respond back to you. Thank you.